Okay, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And right away, Sagittarius, I'm seeing that the overall energy for the reading is the World card. So there could be a cycle that is being closed out at this time, especially with the full moon in Scorpio on Tuesday. There could be a cycle that very much needs to come to a close so that something else can open up. So you could be feeling that something is ending, or that you're starting a new path at this time. And with the Four of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Chariot, I'm seeing that the cycle that's closing out could have to do with a career path that you're on, something possibly to do with schooling, education, or just something to do with your material world. With the Four of Pentacles and the Hierophant there, Taurus could be significant for you in some ways, so maybe you have Taurus in your chart, although many of you won't. And possibly as the cycle closes out, it closes out a way of doing things that maybe you took for granted or felt like a comfort zone, or maybe felt like you were on autopilot in some way. Um, and as this cycle closes out, it also opens up a newer energy to come in and a willingness to try new things or try doing things in a new way, open your perspective, or just expand how you go about things. For many Sagittarius is listening, there could be a feeling of the path that I was on wasn't working anymore, and so it's time not only to move on to a new path, but to let go of the way that I thought that things would be, or the expectations that possibly you had for what your life was going to look like, what that path was going to look like, and in so doing, it opens up something new. And I say that because the oracle cards that you have here are participation, new vision, and control. So it's almost like in order for you to manifest something in your life at this time, it requires you to participate in a new vision, to step authentically into a new vision for your life or for the world or for yourself, and kind of let go of control so that you can open up the space for something new to emerge, possibly in how you see yourself or what you're capable of or what's possible for you. Now, in the recent past, we had the Eight of Wands, the Strength card, and the Seven of Swords. So the number 8 or the number 7 could be significant for you. For many of you, Cancer or Leo energy could be significant the months of July or August, but not necessarily. It's just a theme that's kind of coming through. And I'm seeing that there could have been thoughts or messaging coming through that was confusing for you, or possibly many of you had to find the strength within yourselves to define the truth for yourself. So maybe someone was telling you something and it was up to you to kind of discern, is this correct for me? Is this true? Does this resonate with me? And for many of you, it could have been confusing. It could have maybe felt like it threw you off your path, or like you had to really ground yourself very strongly in the truth that you knew for yourself, because it does look like there's a deceptive energy there. However, in the current energy, I see you coming more into a feeling of clarity with the Ace of Wands, the King of Swords in the center of the reading, and then the Ten of Cups. And that's very much not only a feeling of clarity, but a feeling of joy and relief with the Ten of Cups, a feeling of, I finally figured it out, or I finally know the truth after possibly a period of confusion. And even though you're a fire sign, Sagittarius, and there's many fiery cards here in this reading, you are coming through today as the King of Swords, which is definitely more of an air type energy. So Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius could be significant in your life at this time, or you could just be taking on some of those qualities of being very strategic, being very thoughtful, kind of thinking things through in order to figure out what feels good for you here, as well with the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Cups. There's this feeling of, I finally figured out what's going to make me feel good, or I finally figured out what's going to make me feel good at this point in my journey. And then in the near future, we have the Star, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Four of Swords. So for many of you, you're also coming into a time of deep healing with the Star and the Four of Swords, and it's going to feel like a huge difference from the energy that maybe you were in the past. It may feel like you can finally exhale a sigh of relief. You can finally relax, slow down, lie down. And even if it's not in the physical sense. It may just be in the energetic, emotional sense of not having to worry about something, not feeling constrained by something. And there's this very calming, healing energy that kind of settles over you and changes very much with the Wheel of Fortune, the way that you're feeling overall. So let's dive into these energies and take a look at the recent past here with the Eight of Wands, the Strength card, and the Seven of Swords. Show me the Eight of Wands. Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands. And then show me the Seven of Swords. Three of Cups, Ten of Swords, Ten of Cups. And then the Strength card. The Moon, the King of Pentacles, the Lovers. So there could have been a connection here, or maybe multiple connections, multiple people or energies around you that felt very good on the surface. They came through very strongly with the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. But there was possibly something there that ended. Maybe this was like a friend group that you had a falling out with. Maybe this was you were in a relationship and there was a third party situation. But there was this feeling that you had of, I need to remove myself from this situation in order to feel stable, in order to feel secure. Or maybe it felt like there was something that you couldn't quite trust in this connection or around these people. And you felt like in order to achieve happiness, I really need to remove myself from this, because wherever my happiness lies, it's not here. And for many of you, it may have been something that felt hard to pinpoint. Like maybe you couldn't fully understand what was going on. It just was a feeling, an intuitive feeling that was kind of in your subconscious even of, I just don't feel very stable around these people or around these energies. And so I need to kind of hold back the fullness of my energy from these people. And with the Ten of Swords here, I'm seeing that something kind of came to a crashing halt with whoever this was, came to sort of an ending. And ultimately, it looks like it was for the best with the Ten of Cups being there. And this could have led to quite a bit of confusion. This may have been something that on the surface, again, felt good to begin with, but then as time went on, you kind of began to question. And for many of you, this could have been something, a connection that kind of made you question yourself, or made you feel possibly insecure in yourself, or led to some sort of like lack of confidence, which for a Sagittarius, our confidence can be our center, our place of radiance, that we kind of, all of our energy kind of comes from that source of confidence. And something in this connection kind of shook your confidence or made you feel kind of insecure. And definitely there was a sort of deceptive energy here that you were picking up on some level. And at some point you must have pulled away from this deceptive energy. Let's take a look at that with the Strength card and the Seven of Swords. Four of Cups. Three of Swords, the Devil. Okay, yes, a very toxic, painful sort of energy. Yeah, I don't really know how else to describe this. Just a very, very difficult, possibly like very toxic energy. The Four of Cups is like a rejective energy. The Three of Swords represents heartbreak, and the Devil represents codependency, toxicity, addiction, that kind of energy. And it's like, as soon as you clock this energy, it was hard for you to unsee. It was like, how did I not see it before? You could have been very hard on yourself about even putting yourself in the path of this energy, saying, you know, why did I do this? Why did I ever associate with this person or with these people in the first place? And it could have taken all of your strength even to extract yourself from this situation. And it's just a very heavy energy in the reading. For some of you, this could have been a partnership with the Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck. For others of you, it could have been that there was a specific other person who kind of filled you in on this or helped you get through this. But for many of you, this took you far away from your intuition and you needed to kind of cut yourself off from it, because you realized that the expectations here did not line up with the reality, or things were not entirely what they seemed, or something like that. So let's take a look at the current energy. I'm seeing you looking a lot more stable right now with the Ace of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Ten of Cups. Show me the Ace of Wands. Ten of Pentacles, Four of Wands, Five of Wands. You're giving me a sense of, okay, that's done, but there's still some type of sort of struggle in the way that you feel around this situation, or just the way you feel within yourself, within the foundations that you have. This could have left you feeling somewhat ungrounded in terms of, what can I trust in my reality, or what can I trust in the foundations that I've set up. Maybe this had something to do with family, maybe this had something to do with a partnership that you trusted, and once this kind of fell through, or once you realized you needed to remove yourself from the situation, it may have made you feel like, okay, if I can't trust that, what can I trust? Let's take a look at that feeling, that struggle that your energy is kind of moving through with the Five of Wands. I see you reflecting on it and kind of thinking like, where did I go wrong with the Emperor card? There could be a feeling of needing to control your surroundings in order to keep yourself safe, and like maybe you let something slip through the cracks in the past or something like that. I see you kind of holding on to this sense of, this is my fault, or I should have done something differently, or maybe if I'd done something differently, I could control what happened here. Or in the present situation, it's kind of like now you're assessing where you're at in your life right now, and there's a feeling of, I need to be in control in order to avoid that ever happening again. So whatever this is, it could have made you feel out of control in your surroundings, or it could have made you feel like even when everything's fine, it's actually not fine. So a very sort of triggered feeling, which makes sense with those energies from the past of a lot of pain, a lot of mistrust, heartbreak, and obsession, and this feeling of getting triggered when everything's okay, because it's like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? Or, everything's fine for now, but maybe it won't be, that kind of feeling. But it's looking like you actually are in a more stable place in your life, or now that you've extracted yourself from that situation, you're doing a lot better. And it's like you kind of know that logically, but the pain from whatever you went through kind of remains in your body and remains in your energy, and it's hard for you to kind of focus more on happiness, because it's kind of like the body keeps the score, the trauma lives in the body, and you still feel that past energy with you as you kind of try to process it. There's also a feeling of maybe like needing to understand what happened in order to feel stable, something like that. Let's take a look at your energy here with the King of Swords. Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Swords, Six of Swords. Sorry, not Six of Wands, Six of Swords. There's a lot of back and forth energy. I feel you being very contemplative about this, really needing to process what happened. Going back and forth of like, okay, let me approach this versus let me avoid it, like let me process this versus let me run away from it. And your energy kind of becomes fragmented, because it's almost like you don't even fully know how to find clarity about this. And it's like, on the one hand, you just want to move on, move towards a happier energy, and on the other hand, it's stressful for you. Let's take a look at that Knight of Swords for what is kind of, you have a lot of thoughts going around in your head here around this. Let's take a look at that. The Empress, the Queen of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords. For many of you, you could be worried about someone else, or how someone else is doing, what's going on with them, and that is what kind of keeps you locked into thinking about this situation. But at the same time, it pulls you pretty far away from yourself, because you're so focused on this other energy. And again, it doesn't come through as like a comforting energy with the Nine of Swords. You know, it could keep you up at night. For many of you, it could be causing stomach problems, I'm hearing, or just anxieties in general, and kind of manifesting in your body in various ways, sleep problems, appetite issues, that type of thing. There could be this sense of, you know, is everything going to be okay in that situation? Maybe I should run back and like make it okay, even though I pulled myself away from it. And there's this feeling of, you know, I can't quite detach from this situation because there's still some sort of attachment to an outcome here of needing everything to be okay. And Spirit's kind of asking you with the Strength card at the bottom of the deck to hold off on needing to be the one who comes in and saves the day in this situation. It's just not your responsibility, I'm hearing. And there's other energies at play who can kind of step in and take the reins and kind of pull their own weight, I guess. And I think on some level you know this because you're showing me the Six of Swords, so you're showing me like, yes, I actually do need to move on. Let's take a look at the Six of Swords. Two of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. There's a message here that you need to move on from knowing what's going to happen. Your attachment to knowing what's going to happen in this situation seems to kind of be keeping you bogged down in it. I see you kind of living in the past and really not being able to distract yourself from the past. Those energies are there. They're kind of happening outside of you, and then you ultimately choose to return to them to try to see if you can fix the situation or how you can involve yourself. There may be a part of you that needs to define yourself outside of this situation. And with participation, new vision, and control in the Oracle cards, there's a need for you to kind of balance out the way that you view the situation and your role in it, and understand that even just by involving yourself here, it could come from a place of needing to control the outcome or control what happens here, or just have a say in what happens, when really it's time for you to move forward. Because with the Ten of Cups here in your energy, I'm seeing that you're actually going to be so much happier once you move forward from this. And Spirit is really coming through here wanting to support you as you move away from this situation. For many of you, it could feel like, well, I can't move away, I'm trying to move away, I can't move away, I'm trying to move away, and it becomes this cycle. And I just see you being so much happier with the Ten of Cups once you actually kind of balance out those energies and allow yourself to leave it behind. Spirit is asking you to be okay with not having an answer or not, you know, knowing how this goes at all, let alone having the outcome that you want, because it's looking like the experience of fixating on it is actually taking over your life and your sense of self in some way. Let's take a look at the Ten of Cups here. I'm just seeing you're going to be a lot more relieved and feel a lot more love in your energy once you kind of release yourself, and it's almost like the happiness and the paradise that maybe you're wanting will just come naturally once you give yourself the permission to move away from this, and to step away from whatever you've been holding on to. With the World card in the overall energy, you know, that's an energy of something trying to close out at this time, or a cycle trying to close. But with the Four of Pentacles coming up, it's like you're holding on very strongly to it, and it's time for you to let this go so that the cycle itself can close out. And by holding on to it, you may be holding on to an energy that's trying to leave naturally. Let's take a look at the Ten of Cups. The Fool, the High Priestess, Temperance. Yeah, it's going to feel so good once you let go of this. You're going to feel relieved. You're going to feel free. You're going to feel like any endeavor that you want to take on, you can step into without the baggage of this. You're not going to be worried about these other people or these other energies. And you're just going to start to heal on a spiritual level and kind of step more into yourself with the High Priestess card. And Temperance is Sagittarius energy. The High Priestess is, you know, stepping into your intuition, you know. And whatever this is with the Devil card, it's looking like it really separated you from your intuition. It really put you in your head and made you question yourself and doubt yourself and feel tied to energies outside of yourself, and maybe even put those energies above your own energy and your own self and centering your own self. And Spirit wants you to reconnect with the part of you that's lighthearted and fun with the Fool card, you know, your inner child, your sense of joy, your sense of exploration, your sense of curiosity, and to really go within and begin to patch up and heal those wounds where maybe it feels like parts of yourself are leaking out at the seams, and just kind of collect yourself and recenter and be able to move forward from a fuller place. And I'm seeing that you could be stepping into those energies right now, or those energies could be coming towards you because that is in your current energy. And regardless, in the near future, we have the Star, the Wheel of Fortune, the Four of Swords, which is heavy, heavy healing energy, you know, an energy of care, support, relief. It could be in the literal sense. For some of you, this could be physical, like really physically resting, maybe getting like medical care that you need, or getting like some type of, you know, physical help in some way, some therapy, something like that. But for others of you, it's just going to be an energy of finally resting from this situation, not feeling bogged down by it anymore, not being so much in your head, and just like really taking the time to do things that feel restorative. Let's take a look at that with the Star card. Judgment, the Sun, the King of Swords. Yeah, a lot of happiness is going to come in, a lot of truth. It's like you're kind of going to start seeing things clearly once you center back towards yourself, and that energy of clarity is going to be really healing for you. It's going to be like a sigh of relief of like, oh, like, why didn't I just choose to see things this way before? Or, you know, and it may come externally, it may come from the universe with Judgment. There may be another perspective or someone else, or, you know, some type of spiritual insight that you gain that kind of shows you the truth of this situation. And I have a feeling that once you do see that truth, you're going to start to understand that you're a lot better off without this situation, and you're going to start to feel a lot more clarity of, I really don't need to be thinking about that. I really don't need to be involving myself with that past energy. What else can you show me about the Star? It's going to feel like a relief mentally too, that you don't have all this bogged down. Your thoughts are going to become a lot happier, a lot clearer, because there will be more space here for that. Let's take a look at the Star. Four of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Justice. This is going to balance out. Whatever you've kind of been holding on to, you know, it's going to come to some type of conclusion that's going to feel a lot better. And it's going to come through that way sort of by itself. You're not going to have to reach out for that energy. For many of you, you could feel like you're waiting with the Three of Wands coming out here for something in particular. But you're not going to need to wait, you know, you're going to start to just naturally balance out these energies. And it's going to help you feel a lot more confident in yourself. So if you can try to look for ways to feel more confident in yourself, look for affirmations, things like that, and just, again, refocus that energy on yourself in really material ways, because the Six of Wands is about self-love and the King of Pentacles is about abundance and material wellness. So maybe, you know, actually like physically, like going to the spa or going to the gym or dressing up and making yourself look really beautiful or really handsome, or enhancing your physical presence in some way, and really just starting to look at yourself as a really beautiful person, and center yourself in your own radiant energy rather than focusing on other people. By holding on to your sense of self and your own understanding of what's right, it's going to help you reconnect with your own energy and feel a lot stronger and a lot more confident. And I see that coming for you in the future, even if it's not here for you right now. Let's take a look at the Wheel of Fortune in the near future. Ace of Cups, Four of Pentacles, the Hierophant. There's going to be a lot of abundance for you, and I see that it could have to do with your finances or your career. But it's going to come again through a more like heart centered way of being. And it's going to kind of feel like things start to overflow for you in terms of the abundant energy of, maybe a lot of money or a lot of love or a lot of new friends, or just whatever you're needing more of in your life. I see that really coming in for you after a period of real struggle here. It's like you go from a period of struggle to a period of abundance, and it really comes in once you release this. So I feel like whoever's listening to this kind of knows what they need to release. So it's going to be different for everyone. Every Sagittarius, every person listening to this is going to have a different type of energy that needs to be released. So I can't say it's any one thing. But if you're listening to this reading and you're resonating, you know what that is. And it's like as soon as you do this, it opens up sort of space for love and care to come in that really ultimately comes from you. And it shifts the way that you move through your life because you feel a lot more free to do that. And I'm just hearing it's a relief. It's going to feel like a relief. So if you're not in this energy yet, just know that it's coming in. Others of you may already kind of be in this phase of deep healing and relief and rebalancing your energies. Let's take a look at the Four of Swords here. For many of you, you may just need to sleep. For others of you, it's a deeper sense of release of control, releasing to be right, releasing the need to be correct. For others of you, this is going to be with the Emperor, the Empress, and the Nine of Wands. This could be a specific other person who you felt like was your other half, or some of you, it's going to be someone who you're like, this is just someone that I always thought was going to be in my life, or someone I made a commitment to, someone maybe you were in love with or shared a lot of love for, and it's like you've just gone back and forth with them for such a long time, and it comes through as very draining, like very exhausting for you. And once you kind of relax around needing to engage with this energy and understanding that you don't need to control the situation or have a certain particular experience, even if you're still in connection with this person, or even if you feel like things aren't quite done with them, the cycle that's closing out is a cycle of you defining your worth or defining your experience of life based on what's going on with this other person. Because whatever is going on with this other person, it's like you need to develop a sense of yourself outside of them and understand that you're doing perfectly fine on your own, no matter what's going on with them. So if they're having a bad day or things aren't going well with them, it doesn't necessarily mean that things have to go south for you too, because you're your own independent person. And once you really, truly allow this energy to be in its own space rather than in your space energetically, I think you're going to feel so much better, Sagittarius. So before we close out the reading, let's take a look and get 3 cards of advice from the universe. For many of you, this is kind of go along with the Scorpio full moon energies of endings and certain energies phasing out. And so kind of let these energies phase out with the moon. Certain things need to end so that other things can come in for you. And I see you kind of in the current energy being kind of stuck between rushing back towards this energy and running away from it. And try to understand that healing is not a linear process, and that you are going to have times when you need to process this more and have other times where you want to run away from it, and other times where you're just perfectly fine with it wherever it's at, and that's okay too. So show me 3 cards of advice for Sagittarius. Nine of Swords, Page of Cups, the Devil. Spirit wants to remind you that when you get into that spiraling thought loop place, that is really your mind, and you can pull yourself out of it by stepping more into your heart space and stepping more into the way that you feel your feelings of joy. But they want you to know too that that energy kind of comes through as not addictive necessarily, but definitely compulsive, and to just kind of watch that energy and be aware of it, even if you can't necessarily pull yourself right out of the spiraling thoughts and that sort of loop-de-loop that we get caught in mentally, just to know that is restricting you and that it's something that you want to free yourself from eventually, and just to kind of have an awareness of that. So that's what I have for you today, Sagittarius. I hope that it helped. I hope that it resonated, and I'll see you next time.